Hello, this is George Lees, just making another backup video of Lily Allen's superb philosopher's output. Yeah, that is Lily Allen, who sings the songs about going into orbit, and that is the air balloon video. Yeah, and this one that I'm going to show you today, that is the air balloon that allows Jesus to go up into orbit as he's getting sent back home to heaven. Yeah, the cross goes into orbit with Lily Allen at the same time, and now she's making videos with Borders councillors, yeah, driving her taxis, and Borders councillors singing, yeah, on the songs that are the parodies, yeah, for Rory Stewart, who is the councillor for Jedburgh, who's given me death threats. He is the man that is driving this taxi. And just to show that he's an actor, he does not have a Borders accent in this video, but his face is exactly the same as Rory Stewart, who attended in the Borders Council building the how to prepare for elected office lectures. Yeah, so that's me that went to prepare for elected office before the Borders Council tried to lobotomise me, and they succeeded in sectioning me. But because I'm so accurate in making videos like these ones, they could not continue with the sectioning, and that is Dr. Ian Fingland and Basil Switzer, who lives in the town that I'm making this video in, and fuck knows if he is a medical psychiatric doctor, because he does not use that name in this town. And all of it is to protect the Rothschilds as war criminals or massive banking entities. That is the Bank of International Settlements in Basel, yeah, which is why Basil Switzer was appointed as the second psychiatric doctor. All of it is a cheap shot, typical Rothschild activity. They train armies of cover-up mechanisms, and that is why we've got so many sex island incidents. And let's now see Lily Allen in the back of the taxi, pissed as a fart, with the councillor for Jedburgh driving the taxi, proving that he's a very articulate actor because he can speak perfect BBC English as well as his Jedburgh Scottish accent. And he sings Ruby, Ruby, Ruby with the band, and it's exactly the same facial structure for the driver of the taxi as the lead singer for, I forget what the band is, that sings Ruby, Ruby, Ruby. This is Lily Allen, Our Time official video. There is Rory Stewart, who you will recognise if you look at the lead singer who sings the song Ruby, Ruby, Ruby. And I don't know who the actress is that gets into the taxi and gets pissed with Lily, but she then, when she gets home, she refuses to pay the councillor for Jedburgh. And if that were me, I might get another death threat from him. if anybody in Coldstream has a sofa that are there prepared to share with a political activist who's paying for his own residencies for nearly a year now, and many of the people that appear in these pubs are just actors and actresses, and I've got a massive collection now of their images, and I will be suing in due course. And that is the place that they've just passed, that the real Rory Stewart, who was the governor for Iraq and was on Boris's cabinet, is now applying for the position of the Mayor of London so that they can obfuscate even further their massive piss take against the electorate in Britain. How to prepare for elected office, Rory Stewart. Yeah, and Rory Stewart the geek from Cheshire that has now become a cabinet member for Boris, but is intent on becoming the Mayor of London like Boris did. And all of the terror events that have been created in London are done by teams like this. Total buffoonery, all of it is keeping the citizens in terror, and I've got the explanations and the director numbers for everybody that is involved in the previous scams. So that may be just an actor, but if it's not, that is the absolute damnation of what these lot are trying to do. They're engaging the police, they're getting pissed, they're refusing to pay, and all of them are actors that have a geopolitical motive, yeah, to get the covers up for the cabinet members that are Rory Stewart. Yeah, that is the MP that was the governor for Iraq in the killing of hundreds of thousands of people and the brutalisation of that place for the issuance of money in that place for the Rothschild family that pay these sad bastards. Councillor for Jedburgh in the mirror, Rory Stewart.
Wake up, darling, this is you.
And this is my house.
£67, Becca.
Can't find any money.
Talking about you can't find any money. Driving you around all night, little girl. Where are you now? Where are you going? Well then.
Because I can't.
So there it is, end of story. Let me just show you her going into orbit on Jesus' cross. She's a well-paid person.
Introduction to fractional shares. How to invest from just £1.
This won't take long. This is her fucking air balloon. That's like her head, actually. She has no brains, but she's a millionaire from everything that is laughing at the news and even the biblical stories. Air balloon. Lily Allen. And you should see the people that are pretending to be ordinary people that are actually actors in your hometown, and that is how they are gonna win the case to make me bankrupt and put me back on the streets, missing the £90,000 that my wife gave me, in inverted commas, for her stealing my house, with millions of pounds of real estate in the south of England in her family's hands. That's Miss Valerie Jane Lees, and I don't know whether or not she still uses that name, because she's a mafia mugshot now. Yeah, that's David Cameron's government. That is the Chipping Norton set, and that is MI6, who she was trained by. Yeah, and that is why David Cameron had to resign. But that bit I am sure of, that is the wild ass in the Bible. Yeah, another joke for Jesus that tows the Rothschild cart into war for profit. Yeah, the wild ass. So this is Jesus going home, and then, Lily goes home on Jesus's cross first, and then Jesus himself is still orbiting since the year dot, when the Pisos wrote the Bible and launched the police that are in this video. Piso Polis. And that last bit was Jesus for 2,000 years failing to get home, like Bungie for Rupert Murdoch and the sun god Bungie. Yeah, on the bungee jump joke, failing to get home. I think we'll stop there now. And this is my safe house, and that is what I've spent almost £50,000 living in a safe house, because I've got nowhere else to live. And that's why I will be suing the families that are the Star Wars team that are participating in that. Yeah, when I get bored with getting the evidence. Yeah, it is a lovely group of people. They know what they do for their careers, and I know who all of them are, and the list of pictures is now getting higher and higher and higher. And that is the Star Wars joke, and that is why some of them get really panicky when you play movie clips with them in them. And what else can we do? We could show you Rory Stewart, the councillor for Jedburgh. Let's try that, if we can get a picture of him. So, Rory Stewart, Governor for Iraq. Images. There's Rory Stewart. That's Rory James Nugent Stewart, OBE, FRSL, born 3rd January 1973, known as Rory from 2016 to 2019. Stewart served in the May government as International Development African Minister and Prisons Minister. After the 2003 invasion of Iraq, Stewart became the Coalition Provisional Authority Deputy, so they're trying to deny now that he was ever the governor for Iraq when Tony Blair brutalised it. Okay, let me show you the images. And that's why he's in the inquests for the war crimes. There he is, a nice looking geek. Yeah, really, really nice. And that could be the 3 people on the cross in their jokes, which is one of the biggest causes of human death, yeah, in world history. And he lives in massive mansions in Cheshire, where the Duke of Westminster has faked up his death so that he does not have to pay any taxes, and he can still run his 3 massive billionaire casinos, 2 in Newcastle, 1 in Dundee, where he used to dine with me and drink with me when he was not gambling himself. Right, that's the Rory Stewart, Governor for Iraq. Now let's find Rory Stewart, Councillor for Jedburgh. Oh my goodness, isn't it tense? There he is. That's the taxi driver with a nice haircut and Jedburgh colours that are also Rothschilds colours. There he is again. There he is again, looking more and more like the taxi driver and the singer in the band. Ruby, Ruby, Ruby. I forget what the band is called. Let's see if we can find it. And no, let's look for Councillor Hutton, who tried to have me sectioned as the boss at the head of the Borders Council and as the tutor on how to prepare for office. That is Borders Council, and we can look him up on the Las Vegas military tattoo, which he runs for profit too, laughing at the dead men in kilts. There he is with a policeman, in inverted commas, named after Piso. I think we can get that one focused a little bit better. There he is, Councillor Hutton. When he sees me, he runs up the high street and hides. There he is with his medals to show that he is actually a brave councillor, laughing at the war dead in kilts in Las Vegas for personal gain, when the whole of his council pretend that they are in a debt pool. Ever since I started to warn them about getting their loans from the Icelandic banks that then immediately crashed. That is him committing his sins at Christmas, because Jesus never lived, which is why Lily Allen makes videos with him in orbit. I think we should stop now. He was the tutor on how to prepare for elected office for Rory Stewart, the councillor for Jedburgh. And if I could show you the Jedburgh floods, that was when they were scamming me into divorce, pretending I had done something wrong to my family and my wife, who I'm not allowed to see because my wife trained in MI6. So, Jedburgh floods. There we are. That's the high street. And that's why Councillor Rory Stewart was all riled up that I was able to take pictures like that and broadcast them in videos like this one. He is a sad bastard. All of them get paid to obfuscate the truth and to tell lies, about what happened in Iraq and why. And that is why Hannah Mary Rothschild's name was used in the meeting at Heiton. Let me show you the Heiton place where Hannah Mary Rothschild appointed Councillor Rory Stewart to allow him to be the chairperson at the meeting, which was a debate for the candidates for one of the previous elections, and that was Paul Wheelhouse and John Lamont were the MPs, and I asked my questions on what they were going to do about the massive Rothschild war crimes that I had reported to my MPs already, but without making films with them. Yeah, that is going to bring them down, but that is the constitution that they are in breach of since I came back from New Zealand in 2009, Christmas of, with massive snowstorms just like we're having now. That's the petrol station at the end of Jedburgh where I met Councillor Rory Stewart that day. And somewhere in there is the river, or the road, or both. And those are punters' cars, like Lily Allen was in the taxi, with Rory Stewart driving it. Shall we stop now? Councillor Hutton borders council. And Rory Stewart, Governor for Iraq. Let's just get a picture of him in his role. But now on his profile it does not show him as governor. There he is with the people pointing at victims. Yeah, there he is behind the mic. He wants, like Boris Johnson, to be Lord Mayor of London, so that Boris does not get accused of that. And that is Boris, who went to the Geelong School in Australia where Rupert Murdoch trained, so they could make their plans on how they become the imperatos for the world. Yeah, he was formerly the Mayor of London, went to the same school as Rupert Murdoch, because all of them need to learn how to be mafia members. Yeah, and that's them now planning to obfuscate the news of their careers by making them both London mayors. Shall we stop now? What else? And let me see if I can find the other people who went on that course and who actually go to the race course and give carrots to the donkeys and the horses, and all of it is a massive joke. And they used to live near me in Pinnacle Hill Park, and when they heard that I was getting sectioned, they said it was a jolly good thing and it was high time that somebody made something because of my reputation. Yeah, he gives carrots to the race winners at the races. That is the Piso icon, and that is Piso, who is the basis for the naming of the prisons, the pistols, and the word Piso is the basis for the prisons, pistols, and polis right through world history. And the polis, I can also explain why they've been picked and why they have to be coerced. Let me show you that joke. So there is polis, and that is named after Piso. Polis. Yeah, and there is the head of Police Scotland. Yeah, all of them are obfuscation for Rupert Murdoch's boards or Lizzie Murdoch's boards. That is Gormley. He's now a mental case. That is the cover for Joseph Gormley on the Rothschild family boards. That's Lizzie Murdoch's boards. Let me now show you the Iraq war news that I shared with the candidates for that election, and the pictures of Hannah Mary Rothschild and her favourite politicians. So it's on the front page, and they've taken the pictures down at the top of the front page to show that they have the power to do that as members of Google who run my website. Greg Hallett's books, Catholic, Jewish, that is the murder of Greg Hallett, who's gone missing now for since 2011, and then he's been replaced by trainees, and all of the pictures get taken down very, very frequently. There's the one on the Basel banking thing that got me arrested, because that is the biggest bank steal that has ever happened in world history, and it happened in 1937 with Lord Jacob Rothschild in charge of the plot. And Mandel House on the board, that is Peter Mandelson, who's in the picture somewhere. Yeah. And the Rothschilds murdering Greg Hallett is why the picture at the top of the page has been taken down. Yeah, there's the Bank of International Settlements that is robbed blind by Mark Carney, who trained there. And Mervyn King did the same before him. Yeah, and that is all run by Lord Jacob Rothschild, whose daughter confirmed receipt of the correspondence with her, and the war crimes director numbers. There are the sectioning doctors. Yeah, that's the one that lives in Coldstream. Yeah, I won't tell you their names, because the bank is in Switzerland, in the town of Basel. And that's why I'm exiled from my 3 boys and my ex-wife, because they made that into my madness. Yeah, do you get it? And there are the other mafia members that are currently in charge of Lithuania, Germany still, and the ex-English people, all of whom were trained at Tavistock. And there is Merkel on the left, there is Theresa May in the middle, and there is Gobshite of Lithuania on the right. Nice looking gaze that she has. Yeah, all of them trained at Tavistock, and those are David Cameron, that is the reader of the Sky News. Yeah, that is, I forget what his name is, but we'll just look at the title of the movie. Piso the Man, American Pie, St Boniface. Oh no, it's not got it at the bottom, so it must have it at the top. He's the newsreader for Sky, outside source. and I forget what the name is. Hitler cigar tube, Princess Anne Bronfman, yeah, and those are people that I'm familiar with in this town. I will not dob on them. They've been kind enough to give me Princess Anne's phone number so I can dob on her in due course. She's not on a Love Island so far. He's Ross Atkins, yeah, outside source every evening, and there is the Theresa May lineup, there is Miss Merkel. All of that is at Tavistock. Yeah, and that's a really nice guy, that one. Yeah, not that one. He's the mafia in the 5 mafia families of New York. And there are the 5 warmongering families that are the launch of World War II, and the leadership team are all Rothschild babies. And I think we'll stop there. Yeah, that's Fulda, where St Boniface lives, and if I never live to make another video, that is where the rats were led by the Pied Piper of Hamelin. St Boniface's Cathedral is in Hamelin. That is luring all of the Christians away from the sun god that they used to work. Yeah, and that is the joke, that is the Pied Piper, and the leading of all of the war dead to their deaths, Councillor Hutton in Las Vegas, for private gain. Bye bye. It may be clearer up here. Yeah, and those are the Forbes rich listers below the Rothschild family tree, with Schicklgruber on the family tree, with Kasner, with Alois Rothschild, and with the Austrian Rothschilds and the English ones that launched the 5 Arrow banks and all of the wars, like the people that they pick for the monarchy as their bastards. That is the bastard children of the King of Kings lineage, that is the 5 Arrows, originally from Frankfurt, now from Paris, London, Italy, and Austria, and one other. That is, and they have stolen the Federal Reserve banks in Rothschilds so many times that I cannot count the number of times that has been scammed and re-scammed, and every time they do that, they launch a war and sink a few ships, like the Titanic. And the story that I've been told today, that is the sinking of the Titanic to launch them into World War I, but really it is to confirm the stealing of the Federal Reserve Bank for Rothschild and their European allies that went to Jekyll Island and made the deal secretly so that we could kill all of those people all across the Atlantic, yeah, right through World War I and then again in World War II, which is why the 39 Steps film was made and the launch of the war in 39, when the Bushes were headed for the presidency and the Fourth Reich in America. I think we'll stop. So, yeah, do you get it? All of it is Tavistock. You're not allowed to be a politician unless you're a muppet on the Rothschild strings. That is Cameron. His people are still on the court of the Bank of England, stealing from Great Britain. And all that needs to happen is you tell your local MPs that you're aware that their director numbers are on the Duke of Buccleuch's interlocks, and that is Julian Callum Lamont, who's changed his roles because he's in breach of the UK Constitution since I returned and made Michael Moore resign for refusing to meet me as Secretary of State for Scotland with 82 directorates on the P&O shipping lines with George Bush. Sorry, and that is Ross Atkins, who reads the news outside source every night. Sorry, I have to go and have some dinner. Yeah, and get the bill higher and higher and higher.